Transitioning your baby from the bassinet to the crib is a huge milestone very early in your new baby's life. This is the biggest milestone that they're going to reach so far that is going to help foster their independence. Now, we're not going to take it too far. You're not going to have a fully independent child. Don't think that transitioning to the crib means that you are never going to help your baby at bedtime or through the night ever again, because that is not the case. In this video, we are going to cover how to transition from the bassinet to the crib. One of the more important things to know is when is it time to make this transition. And for starters, you are the parent and you know your child best, so anything that I tell you is merely just professional advice, and you can do as you will with your own child. Obviously, should go without saying. So there are some families who have their baby sleep in the crib from day one. I thought I was gonna be that parent, and then I brought my kid home from the hospital and he just wanted to be attached to me all the time for those first several weeks, and that was fine. I ended up with a cribside co-sleeper, and he was right next to me in his own sleep space, connected to my bed. Other families enjoy using a bassinet, whether it is a Halo bassinet or whatever brand you prefer, or if you use a pack and play. That is what I used for my second two children, and it had the bassinet attachment that you can take off and then use the top portion of the pack and play with that little insert that gets them used to having a little bit more space, but they're still next to you in your room without having to disassemble and assemble the crib in your own bedroom. I actually liked this option because when my daughter was 3 months old, I found a new house on the market. For whatever reason, I was just always scouring the housing market, which I actually still do. So I think in my past life, I might have been a realtor. But anyways, I was looking at the market, I found a great house, and we decided to move when my daughter was 3 months old. So having another piece of furniture to move was just like not in the cards. So having a pack and play was a great plan, and we ended up having to spend a weekend at my in-laws' house in between closing on our original house and closing on the new house. Anyways, so she was used to the pack and play, and it was a win situation for everyone. That was a huge long-winded tangent on the pack and play, but clearly I am an advocate for just using the pack and play as a bassinet instead of having a million different things. Anyways, if your baby is loving their bassinet, no matter what kind of bassinet you're using, and you're wondering if it's time, it is 1000% time if your baby is rolling over onto their stomach and pushing up onto all fours. It is a no-go, not safe situation for them to still be in a bassinet at that point. Until that point, it is completely up to you. So let's jump into my 5-step process on how we're making this transition from the bassinet to the crib. Number one has nothing to do with sleep, actually. Step number one is to have some playtime in the crib/nursery. If you are folding some laundry, whether it's laundry for the baby's room or laundry for the linen closet, who cares? Fold it in the baby's room and have the baby play either on the floor or in the crib. This is going to help your child become familiar with that environment if they are not familiar with it already. I actually had a client with a 4-month-old, and the mom said she has never slept in the crib, she will never sleep in the crib, and I just don't even think this is gonna work. And I was like, let's do that thing where you trust the process and the plan that me, a professional sleep consultant, gave to you, and just have some playtime in the crib while you're just hanging out in the nursery. I don't care if you're sitting there in a rocking chair watching your kid play on the floor or scrolling on your phone while you take a much needed mental health break and your kid is playing safely in the room. Just get them in the room, and lo and behold, the baby fell asleep in the crib while the mom was like turned around folding laundry, and she was like, "Are you kidding me?" No, I'm not kidding you. Just do what I say. Step number two is to have one nap of the day in the crib. Typically, the first nap of the day is the best nap of the day to do in the crib, because that is when your child is going to take the best nap of the day. As the day goes on and they build sleep pressure to sleep into the night, they get a little more overtired. They get a little bit more resistant to change and something new during the day. So that first nap of the day is a great nap to try in the crib. If it doesn't work after 20 to 30 minutes of trying to get your baby to sleep in the crib, then go ahead and have them sleep in the bassinet or wherever you safely have your baby take their nap. Step number 3 is to make sure that you are doing the full bedtime routine and bedtime in the nursery / crib. So once you are committed to starting the night in the crib, you need to do the entire bedtime routine in the bedroom. So that might mean last feeding in the day, changing their diaper, getting them into pajamas, sleep sack, read a couple books, sing a couple songs, have some cuddle time, and then put them in the crib. And then you will do at least half of the night in the crib. So at this point, step 3, you are having the first nap of the day plus the first half of the night in the crib. Of course, this is a gradual process. You can take it faster if you want to, but a lot of families are on this video because your child may be resistant to change and you might need a different plan. You actually have the opportunity to book a 30-minute call with me to ask me anything and get my professional advice on your specific situation. It is my specialty to assess every individual situation and meet you where you are and help you figure out where you are at point A to get you to point B. It is not to fit you into my box of this is how I do things. I am fitting into your family to help you accomplish your goals. So if that is something you're interested in, click the link in the description box down below to book your 30-minute call. Okay, so let's say your child sleeps until midnight, 1, 2 a.m. in the crib, and then they are inconsolable and absolutely will not go back to sleep in the crib. I definitely recommend giving it a try to get them back to sleep for 20 to 30 minutes. And if they don't take and they just won't do it, then go ahead and finish the night in the bassinet in your room. This is exactly what I did with my 3rd baby because mama was exhausted. I never really formally had to sleep train him. I just used these strategies to make the transition to all the things a little more smooth. So he would do the first nap of the day in the crib and the first half of the night in the crib, and then the last half of the night from 2 a.m. until 7 a.m. he was in the pack and play in my room. We all got better sleep, but we only did that for 2 weeks. After you've done this for 2 weeks, we're going to jump down to step 4. Step 4, we're making a big jump. We are doing 2 naps a day in the crib and the entire night in the crib. This is where you might need to implement some sleep training at bedtime and overnight. This is where it becomes a non-negotiable. You might need to give your kid a little bit of tough love, and of course I recommend this after your baby has turned 4 months or older. Once you've been doing that at step 4 for 2 weeks, then we're jumping to step 5, and that is all sleep all the time in the crib. So every nap. At this point, I'm assuming your child is probably 4 to 6 months old. They're probably taking at least 3 naps a day. The younger babies may be taking 4. The older babies may be taking 2 or 3 naps a day. However, they should all be taken in the crib, and the entire night should be in the crib as well. So that is the 5-step process. However, I have a bonus tip for you. Make sure that the nursery is a familiar environment to what your baby was used to in the bassinet. So let's say, for example, you were using a pack and play and you use a crib sheet on the pack and play. Use that same sheet that has a familiar scent in your baby's crib and put that on their crib mattress. Have nothing else in the crib. Keep using the sleep sack that you've been using for your baby while they were in the bassinet, and any other positive sleep associations that you've been using up until this point, like white noise and blackout shades. You want to make sure that those things are also consistent in your baby's nursery. That is going to help make this transition so much easier for your baby and you. Now, don't forget, if you have any questions and you really just want professional advice instead of scouring the internet, which I know that's how you found this video, but now that I'm in your life, keep me in your life forever. Set up a call where you can ask me anything about your child's sleep. There's a link in the description box down below. I will also pin it in the comment section. I look forward to talking to you, hearing about your unique situation, your family, and your baby. I love being able to hear about everybody's stories, where they are and where they want to be. Let me help you meet your goals. Let's get on the phone and chat, and keep blooming. Mwah.